Hey everyone, in the news this week, Manchester United announced plans for a new stadium, although given their precarious season this year, I assumed it was a far new, smaller stadium for when they eventually get relegated. I was also very disappointed that the design for this wasn't a challenge on The Apprentice, and I've loved to see the contestants make a pig's ear of a mess of it, and then Lord Sugar commenting, "Not so much Old Trafford, his old scaffold." Friday was March 14th, and that marked the anniversary of the death of Karl Marx, and many capitalists would like to remind everybody about how that was likely his greatest and only achievement, apart from those black and white comedy films from the 1940s. They're hilarious. A UN judge living in the UK was found guilty of owning a slave this week, and there was a fairly shocking outburst in court where she angrily claimed it wasn't a crime for her because she has diplomatic immunity from the UN. Surprisingly, the United Nations actually dropped this, and she's now due for sentencing next month, which likely proves that the UN considers her guilty of the worst crime of all, namely being caught. And in another case of strange justice, a protester tried to scale Big Ben and the police decided to take him down with a cherry picker, although a friend of mine suggested they should have just cut to the chase and taken him down with a rifle instead. Meanwhile, the politicians inside the building were busy discussing the new Trump tariffs, saying that they'll, quote, keep options open, with the Labour MPs adding, in addition to keeping the borders open, and presumably also having an open bar, but for MPs only, of course. Meanwhile, those tariffs announced in DC coincided with Democrats going from the party that used to advocate for mandatory electric vehicle ownership to firebombing Teslas, and then wondering why they're not viewed seriously by the public. In a further case of irony, the same people will advocate for banning Tesla because Elon Musk's supposedly Nazi ideology, yet then they'll drive home in a Mercedes, a BMW or a Volkswagen. Aside from the political cluelessness of that, it does make you wonder if they actually just don't like Tesla because it's an American car brand. Although on the plus side, they might next do everyone a favour and move on to firebombing the supporting infrastructure, namely wind turbines. Anyway, see you next week. If you like these, click subscribe.